Did you know that there are people out there who could have anything they desire, but instead they choose to lead lives that are surprisingly down to earth? We bet you haven't thought of that. But get ready to be stunned because the truth is going to shock you. Yes, there are some extremely wealthy individuals who choose to live life just as minimal as it gets. But hey, don't mistake their frugal living for indifference. Let's dive into their humble living and you'll be left questioning everything you thought you knew about the lifestyles of the rich and the famous. Get ready to have your perspectives challenged to a whole new level. Number 10. Chuck Feeney. Hold your breath as we dive on the number 10 on our list of the hidden rich, who's none other than Chuck Feeney, a man whose financial roller coaster will leave you breathless. His current net worth may be $1.5 million, but just 2 decades ago, he had a staggering $8 billion lining his pockets. Incredible, right? Well, this might tempt you to believe he was into wild parties and extravagant indulgences, but on the contrary, the man challenged the status quo by never giving in to the temptation of indulging in luxury. In a truly awe-inspiring twist, he chose to give away his mind-boggling fortune to charitable causes. Feeney's rise to wealth began with the sale of duty-free alcohol to American soldiers stationed in Korea, but he soon swiftly expanded his business to other countries, and in no time his duty-free shopping enterprise became the world's largest travel retailer, propelling him to immense wealth. But as it turned out, Feeney had no interest in pursuing it, and that's precisely why they call him the James Bond of philanthropy. What's even more inspiring is that he's known to have given away around $8 billion to charities, and nobody has gotten close to that figure to date. Number 9. Tim Cook. Number 9 on our list is a man leading the world's largest tech company with an astounding net worth of $2.4 million. You guessed it right, it's the CEO of Apple, Tim Cook. While many just dream of acquiring Apple's iPhones and laptops, this man right here is living the dream and has a whole company working for him. However, you might be in for a shock when we tell you that compared to Apple's staggering net worth, his own financial standing at $1.8 billion pales in comparison. Tim Cook is known for his minimalist lifestyle and inspiring work ethic, and while he may be a big workaholic, he's not your average grumpy boss. Tim is loved by his subordinates, who he doesn't fail to inspire by his humble habits and persistent hard work. While we wake up mindlessly and scroll our phones, this guy answers 800 emails as his first task of the day. We could never, right? Number 8. Azim Premji. Moving up on the list of these insanely wealthy individuals, we have an Indian billionaire with a flabbergasting net worth of $9.2 billion. While his bank account may not be bigger than the Indian tycoon Ambani's, his heart certainly is. Azim Premji is an Indian business sensation who is also the owner of Wipro, a multinational IT corporation that generates $9.2 billion annually. Despite his enormous wealth, he is known for his modesty and simple living. You might think a guy in his position would be a big spendthrift, but in Azim Premji's case, it's quite the opposite. Unlike his peers, he prefers to travel in economy, and your jaw may be dropped wide open when we tell you that his latest car is a second-hand Mercedes that he bought from one of his employees. Crazy, right? Azim Premji has certainly not forgotten about his humble beginnings and is occasionally found making gigantic donations to charities. Number 7. Mark Zuckerberg. Mark Zuckerberg is a household name that needs no introductions. Zuckerberg currently owns the company Meta and has a solid net worth of $41 billion. And the only thing more surprising than his staggering wealth is his frugal lifestyle. However, some of you may not be so surprised. After all, how many times have we seen a picture of Mark Zuckerberg wearing the same gray shirt? Fashion is definitely not a priority for him. While he may invest his unconventional wealth in the occasional luxuries like his Tahoe compound, he generally prefers a modest lifestyle and spends money on experiences rather than things. Apart from making smart investments, he is also known for donating an insane amount of money to charities and remains a big philanthropist at heart. If only he would spend some money to protect our privacy on Facebook, right? Not to be salty, but that also sounds like a cause worth investing in. Number 6. Ingvar Kamprad. Obsessing over the furniture at IKEA is a rite of passage for many transitioning into adulthood. Been there, done that. However, have you ever stopped to wonder about the beginnings of the multinational conglomerate? Well, sit tight, because number 6 on our list is none other than the founder of IKEA, Ingvar Kamprad, with a stunning net worth of $42.5 billion. You might think that with this kind of staggering wealth, he was splurging money left and right, but you couldn't be more wrong. Kamprad is living way below his means, and he's modest to an extent that will leave you flabbergasted. For a self-made billionaire, he sure did have some surprising habits, which included buying all of his clothes at a flea market. and getting his haircuts in third world countries only. Certainly puts us to shame because while we may not be millionaires, we are definitely spending more on haircuts than he did in his entire lifetime. Things are heating up, and we know you are eager to know who is next on the list. But before we dive in, don't forget to hit the subscribe button to get all the new updates from us. Number 5. Amancio Ortega. Amancio Ortega may not be a name you're familiar with, but his fashion brand Zara is a global sensation, and many would sell their soul to be able to wear Zara daily and flaunt those chic and trendy outfits. Well, Ortega has the whole brand working for him, but unlike us, he couldn't be bothered less with keeping up appearances. Despite his striking net worth of $62.1 billion, the fashion tycoon is among the hidden rich and has opted for a simple living his entire life. While many in his position jump at the chance to shine in the spotlight, privacy is more up his alley. Ortega has only given 3 interviews in his entire life, and much to the disappointment of the media industry. He might as well be the poster guy for the rich and humble, considering that he never left touch with his roots and stayed in his birthplace of Spain, and has even gotten his coffee from the same cafe his entire life. This man was more loyal to a cafe than people are to their partners nowadays. Number 4. Alice Walton. If you're disappointed by only seeing men so far on this list, you'll be elated to know that number 4 on our list of uncommon millionaires is Alice Walton, the owner of Walmart. With a breathtaking net worth of $62.1 billion, Alice is the heir to the Walton dynasty and has helped skyrocket Walmart and expanded the business exponentially. If we had wealth like that, wouldn't we indulge in fancy cars and lavish mansions? But her priorities are somewhat different, and she prefers to spend a huge sum of money on her art. Her love for art knows no bounds, and it's showcased by her $500 million art collection. If that has you stupefied, you might be wondering where does the word humble fit in her lifestyle. But considering her astonishing financial standing, it's shocking that art is the only thing Walton spends crazy amounts of money on. And not only does she indulge in it, she prefers to share it with the rest of the world. Number 3. Sergey Brin. When you imagine the co-founder of Google, you picture someone thriving with a grand lifestyle and indulging in all the luxuries known to man. Well, Sergey Brin, the man in question, is quite the opposite, and his reputation of modesty and simple living precedes him. Sergey is a self-made billionaire, and he owes his current financial standing of $62.1 billion to his persistent hard work and countless sleepless nights. This guy is a pro at financial management and only makes smart investments that would make the world a better place, including investing in renewable energy and even space exploration. This might not be our top priority if we were billionaires, but I guess there's a reason Brin is and we aren't. Number 2. Carlos Slim. If you have always loved rooting for the underdog in movies, then Carlos Slim might be your favorite person on this list. Life did not give him the best odds, as he was born to immigrant parents in Mexico. However, Carlos did not let his humble beginnings stop him from achieving great heights, and today the man has a bewildering net worth of $88 billion. Despite being the wealthiest man in Mexico, he lives an insanely simple life and refuses to even hire a chauffeur. He even spent his entire life in the same house without upgrading to some insanely fancy mansion, and even though he has a crazy net worth, he limits his own monthly salary to only $24,000. Slim makes sure that the rest of his money is donated to charity and prefers to spend it for the betterment of Mexico. In today's capitalistic world where every day is a struggle between choosing luxury versus simplicity, Carlos Slim has made his peace with his minimalist lifestyle. Number 1. Warren Buffett. Gracing the top of our list is Wall Street's biggest sensation, Warren Buffett, the man who currently owns 0.1% of the world's wealth. Jaw-dropping, right? There's a reason he made it to the top of our list of humble billionaires, considering that this man is wealthier than 2/3 of the countries on the globe, yet still prefers a modest lifestyle over a flashy one. Despite a bewildering net worth of $109.6 billion, Buffett lives in a modest home in Omaha and chooses to fly in economy in spite of owning a personal private jet company. The only thing more shocking than his wealth is his modest way of living. Warren Buffett is a man who has his priorities set straight and he lets his work speak for him, not his assets. The humble beginnings and insanely modest lifestyles of these billionaires may have come as a shock to you and must have you at the edge of your seat. Take time to fully absorb these bewildering facts about the wealthy icons, but don't forget to let us know in the comments which story you found most inspiring and whose selfless actions moved you the most. Stay tuned to learn even more astonishing facts in our next videos. They will leave you questioning everything you know. See you in our next video.